I think what's cool is that when you're getting to know people on these platforms, on social media, and you kind of vibe with them, so maybe you invite them for a collab, but you only see each other from a distance, so you're kind of like feeling what they're doing. They're on their hustle, you're on your hustle, and you guys kind of come together. But then when you get to have a conversation with them and you see what's in their mental and you see what's in their heart, it's even more of a connection. That's how I felt with Steven. It was like, okay, so this is like really dope. Like I can really get something from this. So welcome to Word of the Day Wednesdays. I'm author Nicole D. Miller, author of Stories for the Urban Soul. Stories for the Urban Soul is a compilation of short stories, novellas, and poetry depicting Black characters dealing with everyday life issues, from social injustices to parenting to college life to heartbreak. The stories that are relatable with a faith-based lens, so encouraging, spiritual, all that good stuff. So you can find out more at NicoleDMiller.com. The entrepreneur that I interviewed is Steven Swinson. He was kind enough to be a guest on my Word of the Day Wednesdays. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cover a few of the questions that I asked him on the post, and you can check out the post on my website. So thank you for attending, Steven. I really appreciate your time and carving out this for me. Please let our audience know who you are, what you do, and how you got started as an entrepreneur.
I am a marketing expert, and basically, this is kind of funny. I specialize in social media marketing because that's what all my clients want. But then, after that, we really talk about how to grow your business. One of the ways being email marketing, like nurturing the audience that you've developed through email marketing. Then there's also SEO, making sure you're searchable, and SEM, cost per click, advertising, things like that, so that you're on everybody's mind and brand awareness becomes a thing. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. That's what I do. Okay, so I didn't have a choice. Like, it was literally stay in my car for a few more days, or whatever. So I was let go from my job. It was a terrible job to begin with, but I was let go. And one of the things that I was thinking about while I was working at this job was how much I hated my boss. This woman was just terrible. It's this little short woman, and she was just evil. She was the spawn of Satan. But while I worked for her, only thing I could think about was like, what am I good at? What is it that I do well? And when I finally, got to the point where after being let go, I couldn't pay my bills anymore, and I was homeless for a few days, I was like, I've been doing marketing all these years. I've been doing social media marketing for like the last 4 years. Let's kick it in overdrive and let's do that. So I took the time to really craft an irresistible offer. I tested it out for a day or two, and then I blasted it everywhere on social media. And the only reason why I only tested for a day or two is because I just didn't have the time. It was like, no, we got to hurry up and get this together. I stayed with my boy after that on his couch, and I got right to work. And, I'm real thankful for the position that I was able to be in, and that I was able to get everything off the ground and kind of get it moving, and that I got a lot of momentum. And I think that by the grace of God, marketing being in my background, that I was able to really market my own stuff. And I would say that was the first major thing for me. Like, I need to, market my own stuff. I want to market for people. And I was able to craft an irresistible offer and get people going and get people hooked. And that really helped me. So that's how I got started. If I had to go back, I might not start an LLC on the first week with the last money that I got. But it was a good decision overall. So.
And why do you say that? Do you feel like investing in an LLC was not an investment?
It's definitely an investment. Is it a necessary investment on your first day? I see a lot of Black entrepreneurs put the cart before the horse every single day of the week, and it's something that I wish that I could like give some type of wisdom looking back. Like, hey, you don't need a $3,000 video and a $1,000 website, and like, you don't need all this stuff. What you actually need is an irresistible offer that somebody's going to want. If you know that someone's going to want it and you can generate some type of revenue, now from my marketing background, we could talk about a return on investment. What's your ROI going to be if you were to put out this particular video, or you create this amazing website? And if we know now that you have an irresistible offer and we know that you can get 10 calls in a week, and we know you can close 3 of them, then now we can put a little part of our budget together and see like, okay, this, video is going to cost me this amount of money to have some amazing video content that would lure people in. It's going to cost me this amount of money. How many clients does it cost for me to be able to make that money back? Okay, we need 1 client. So if we got 3, and that's all we need really to sustain ourselves, let's get a 4th one first, and then let's pay for that video, because now it's in some sort of budget. But we don't need to be able to have all the flashy stuff, all the bells and whistles on day 1. You know what I'm saying?
I wholeheartedly agree, Stephen. I was just talking to a friend who's starting up a podcast, and I was just sharing the key word that you said is budget, right? So even when I started my bookkeeping business, I knew I don't need an office per se. Like, I can work on my home. All I need is my laptop and what's in my brain. So I think a lot of people need to understand you can start with minimal expenses and still deliver quality services and products. You don't have to overspend.
Overhead is never a drawback. It's not gonna keep you from fulfilling whatever order or service you need to fulfill. But as you grow, it's something you can add as you go along.
Another thing that you shared was that you dove into entrepreneurship after being laid off. So was that your first option, or did you apply to 9-to-5s, or did you try like contractor work like Lyft or Uber?
I applied to like 50 different jobs in the first week or two. But the way my brain works, like I was diagnosed with ADHD. We'll talk about any other disability you want to talk about today. But with ADHD and hyperactivity disorder, I noticed that one of the things I do is I put a lot of different eggs in different baskets. My brain will just be working. Sometimes it's beneficial, sometimes it's detrimental. This time it's very beneficial, because while I'm putting together these jobs, my brain is always thinking, how can we make this more efficient? How can we make this easier on ourselves? Because you can duplicate that over and over if you make it efficient, if you make it easy. And one of the things that I thought about was like, how about I go the route where I'm working with people on my own terms, and I make offers to them to work for them. And after coming to that conclusion, it wound up being the best thing for me. But it was like my second idea. So I'm filling out all these applications, and then immediately I'm like, I should start my own business.
And you said another word that really resonates with me, and that's efficiency. I function that way as well. Every day I wake up and it's like, how can I be the most productive for my time? How can I utilize my time and be the most efficient so I can get the greatest output? So I definitely agree with that. And that kind of leads us to our next question. Why do you feel like entrepreneurship is best for you? And in your opinion, what qualities do others need to possess to be an entrepreneur?
So being an entrepreneur has been the best thing for me, because being diagnosed with a disability, so I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and an anxiety disorder. And what it gave me the opportunity to do, again, by the grace of God, I was able to recover as far as my mental health was concerned, because the job that I was working for, they drove me into the ground. And I asked for accommodations at the previous job, and instead of granting my accommodations, they actually let me go, and they said it was due to COVID. So I asked for accommodations. I gave them all my paperwork and stuff like that from my psychiatrist, and was like, this is my paperwork. And they just was like, nah, we can let them go due to COVID. That's what we're going to do. So they did. And what it gave me a chance to do was it gave me a chance to recover as far as my mental health was concerned, and daily be in counseling and therapy or whatever. Once a week, I was able to, talk to my therapist, and I was able to really build myself back up. And having my own schedule that I create, like on my Calendly, you can book a time, but I have time blocked off for myself, so I can go to the gym, so that I can do my therapy session, so that I can take time in the morning to get myself together. I don't have to be out the house by 7:54. I live 15 minutes away from my job, and I got to get there by 8 o'clock. Like, it's not happening. But now I can kind of get myself together on my own time, and I can work in a way that's healthy for my mental health. You know what I'm saying? So being an entrepreneur benefited me in that way, in a major way.
You mentioned that you worked like that for a business, right? I don't know if it was a corporation, but another company. And I totally had that experience where I was overworked. I was working evenings, I was working weekends. They expanded, they had like 3 locations. By the time that I left, they had 7. I was in the accounting department. I was doing all this craziness. So I was working holidays, everything was on me. And it's like, how many of us are grinding for these companies, for these corporations, giving our all? We could literally be doing that for ourselves and getting all of the profits.
Y'all, but I was an athlete for the majority of my life. Like, I'm competing day in, day out, weekends. Like, I remember being at track meets from 6 in the morning until 8 p.m. getting ready to run the 4x4. I was so committed and so focused to like all my events. Like, okay, I'm running the 4x4 at 8 p.m. Like, I remember I didn't eat food all day. Only thing I did was pee. That's it. I ain't eat, I just peed. Now, that was like a really early sign of anxiety, but I didn't recognize it at the time. But I remember I was just tearing my body down so bad by not eating food for literally like 12 to 14 hours at a time. But I remember I was just so focused. And that's one thing that I got to say about an entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur. Like, imagine me at a track meet, not wearing a coat, regardless of the weather. You know, when outdoor comes and you're outside all day, it's cold. It's typically raining, and I had my headphones on. This is back when I had a CD player. I don't know about y'all. And praise the Lord, I had the one that didn't skip, so that when I ran, it wouldn't skip. I still think that was like fake. I think it does skip, and they just say it doesn't. But anyway, but imagine me, my headphones on. The weather is not great. It's not even sunny outside yet. I'm not really eating. I'm just so focused on getting to the next event. I'm laser focused from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Every 2 hours, I get up and I go do a warm up jog, and I'll go through some drills or whatever to make sure my legs are fresh. Because when it's time to go, it's time to go. And finally, when it came down to me competing, like at 8 p.m. for the 4x4, for instance, this was my 4th event. We would run 4 events, and that was our cap. But we would run 4 events, and I would compete at a elite level, I believe, in at least. Wow. And finally, at the end of the meet, I did well, and I was able to kind of collapse. I was ready to go home. I was real thankful that I was able to get through those seasons and like really make a mark. Some of my events are my times are still on the leaderboard at my school, and I hope that never changes. If it does change, I'm gonna go back to the school, but I'm gonna hunt those kids down. I'm gonna scare them out of running. But anyway, that's one of the things that I would say, if I had to compare entrepreneurship, it would be like my high school experience in track. Being an entrepreneur, you got to be driven, you got to be laser focused, and you cannot let up, until it's over. Like, you put yourself in a position where you're able to hire people and you're able to, branch out and grow some more and scale. Like, that's the only time when you can let up. And even then, you don't want to let up because you want to continue to drive and grow and grow and grow. But imagine the weather ain't well at this track meet. It's the same thing with entrepreneurship. Everything is not going to go right. You're not going to close every single person that you try to sell on your product. And one of the benefits that I had working for me is that I have 8 years in sales. So I was able to field calls, okay, people that were interested in working with me, go through a sales process, like really digging deep and learning what they needed and consult them, and then offer them, like make an offer based on what I heard. So I really had a huge benefit. I feel like God really tailored some of my life experiences, or allowed some of the experiences to tailor me to be built for this. And I'm doing the sales, and then I'm doing the marketing, because that's what I do, marketing. So I was able to do both of those things, and that was such a blessing that I was able to cover both of those bases. But you got to be laser focused. You got to be driven. You got to be consistent. Without those things, your business won't stay afloat. So I would say that tenaciousness and that hunger to win is probably at the top of the list out of those 3. I would say first would be my mental health. Taking the time and creating a schedule that really helps me to be able to be successful is the first one. I was able to kind of go shopping accordingly and eat things that were good for me and work out. Like I've noticed that physically, if I'm not taking care of my body, my brain is gonna follow.
Hmm.
And I noticed if I'm not taking care of my brain, my body's gonna follow.
Hmm.
So
That's good.
another challenge that I overcame was the beginning part of starting the business. So at first, I would say I would just talk to people and be like, "Yeah, let's work together." But then I didn't realize that contracts will probably be my best bet. Like if I were to get a contract with somebody and I were to say, "Hey, I want to work with you, but let's work together on a 3-month basis," I know that I can account for my bills now. But if I just work with you because I'm desperate and I can't wait to make some money, then I'll just work with you every single month. And when a month comes around, I'll just be like, "All right, so we ready to go?" Like, no, be assertive, have a contract in place, be able to account for your bills. So I'd say those are the two biggest challenges that I faced. And then, if it's okay with you, I want to share just a couple keys to success for entrepreneurship.
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right, so first I would say support. Support is huge. I didn't turn my settings on to for my display, so it keeps like going dark. So you're gonna see my arm reach up.
Okay.
So don't. But support is very very huge. A lot of people get into entrepreneurship and they don't have the type of support that they need. And I don't just mean like, who knows that you're doing this and how can they, counsel you? But I mean like, how is it that you have, like, who is supporting you so that you can be successful in the business venture that you're attempting? And one of the things that me and you talked about last time was like LinkedIn and how to use that to your benefit. With LinkedIn, you want to be able to reach out to people, not just to find a job, but you want to reach out to people so that they are able to mentor you. So I'm going to reach out to people. I'm going to make it worth their while. I'm going to talk to them and build a relationship that's beneficial to both of us. And I'm going to ask for mentorship. They're going to know what's up. I was able to do that with, Robert Courtney, whom I've interacted with multiple times here on Instagram, William Lindsay. And these people have been some of the best, like, sources of wisdom that I've ever encountered. Some of the things that taken me months to figure out, they told me, a key within 3 or 4 seconds that benefited me. "Oh, why don't you just try this?" And it's a hurdle that I couldn't overcome. And they just, "Oh yeah, just try that." And I'm like, yo, I wish I'd have known that months ago. But that's why you do that. That's why you have these mentors in place, because it'll really be beneficial to you. You'll create this relationship with them, and you'll know what you're getting out of it. They'll know what they're getting out of it, and you'll be able to really succeed in the venture that you're shooting to succeed in. Next, I would say studying your competition is huge. I played basketball in college for a year until I got injured. Got a scholarship to go to a Division I school, but I broke my ankle, so I couldn't go. But I'd say one of the things I learned from playing basketball was I would play, and I did this in track too. Unfortunately, I would practice. I would train by myself because I didn't have access to a lot of people at the time. I couldn't go hang out with 10 other guys and go play basketball. I couldn't hang out with 5 other track athletes and go run. It was my dream, and it was kind of me by myself. But when I played with competition, I learned that the way I practiced, it didn't bring the best out of me. But playing against somebody at full speed and they're jumping as high as they can to block your shot, and they're running as fast as they can to prevent you from getting to the bucket, like, it causes you to go into another gear. And I learned that if I have competition, I'll play my best. But if I'm trained by myself, I won't know how good I am until I run up against competition. We don't want that. We want competition today. So as far as entrepreneurship goes, study your competition, learn what they're doing. And shameless plug, after studying my competition, I learned that a lot of them are stepping away from just the coaching model. They're doing the coaching model, which is their high ticket. But then their low ticket is a mastermind. So myself and a colleague of mine, Her name is Indelible Anna. We're actually starting a mastermind where we're going to be taking people through steps of entrepreneurship as far as like marketing your business through social media. And after seeing what my competition was doing, I had to like train myself to get out of my own repetition and my own like just to get out of my own way. Like, this is what they're doing. Let's study it and see if it's something that we can incorporate. And through that, we'll be able to probably step away from the business a little bit sooner than just through the coaching model. So you have a high ticket offer, you have a low ticket offer. That's what they're doing. I see why they're doing it, and I see how it's beneficial. Finally, I would say the biggest key to all of this, none of this means anything if you don't have an irresistible offer. So if you have an irresistible offer, if you have something that people actually want, then it will make it way easier for you to be able to get a new client, to get a new customer. Like, if the offer is irresistible, you've sent it to your mentors, for instance, and they've said, hey, I like this, or they're giving you constructive criticism, then now you're on your way to really being successful. I've been blessed to be able to write killer copy. I still need the help of a mentor. I still need the help of competition to make sure that I'm writing something that's really going to stand out to somebody. But being able to do that, reaching out to a mentor or something and seeing what's going on with the competition, it's really helped me to be able to see like, all right, this is what is working. So being able to have an irresistible offer, I'd say, is where this all starts. Having an irresistible offer, using your tools like LinkedIn to network and to have support and have a mentor is very, very big. And then studying your competition is huge. So that's it for me. Those would be my tips there.
Well, you definitely gave our audience a lot of wisdom. I know we mentioned that in the last talk. Just a lot of wisdom, a lot of strategy. I thoroughly appreciate it. It's definitely come from your own life experience, so we know it's tried and true. Where can they find you? What is your website, social media handles, emails, all that?
All right. Well, you found me here at Steven.Swinson over here on Instagram. You can even find me on Twitter. Unfortunately, on Twitter, you're just going to see a bunch of Bible verses, but I'm there at Steven Swinson.
Not unfortunately.
Yeah, you're going to come over there probably looking for, some social media content, like a new picture or a new post, but you're probably just going to find a Bible verse.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to let you down, but that's probably what you're going to find my Twitter to be. Then my website is stevenswinson.com. And look, when I tell you, here's another tip. When I tell you to purchase your own real estate, purchase your own real estate as soon as possible. There are 4 Steven Swinsons that are on Google, including my father. We got the same name. They probably make $400,000 a year from what I've been able to research about them, and they're not first on Google. I'm the first 4 on Google. Like, these dudes is making all this money, and I own the real estate. I own the website. I own stevenswinson.com. You know what I'm saying? I got the real estate up in spots 1, 2, 3, and 4. But anyway, you can find me at stevenswinson.com. Come check out the website. If you have any questions, message me here on Instagram. I'd love to talk to you. Ask me about the mastermind. I'd love to give you information on that as well. Thank you so much for that. And I just try to make sure that like I'm able to be flexible with others and be able to extend any type of grace that I can and be able to generate any connections that will be useful to myself and to them. So I hope I've benefited you by joining you today, and I appreciate your time.